Is everyone? Oh God, why is he always up there?
He needs to
doing the
see.
fireworks.
We don't
needs
need
to
fireworks
see,
during
dudes.
the debate.
He's also recording.
Ah, fair enough. I forgot about the recording. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Parker's not here yet. Good enough. Welcome to the first ever Darkwood mayoral debate.
Yay!
For this, we will. I don't want to drown, but fine. Welcome to the first ever Darkwood mayoral debate. You're about to see a debate between the two major candidates running, Kay and Rockefeller, represented by their respective banners.
Yeah.
The debate will go as follows. The candidates will be given questions with 60 seconds to answer and 30 seconds to respond if necessary. And yes, citizens will be able to ask a question at a certain point in time. I will announce when we have reached that point. Now, candidates, I'm going to remove myself from the stage, at least for now, and let you both introduce yourselves.
So you don't die.
One go first.
You go ahead, man. You go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I am Rockefeller. Can I go ahead and start talking about my policy and shit, or?
Give a good brief explanation of why you're running and what your focuses will be. We'll get into more detail as the questions go on.
Okay, so I am running because I want to make a more robust economic system with our Minecraft. There's a zombie pigman that just came through the portal.
He's fine. He's just chilling.
Alright. Alright, cool. And so, yeah, I want to make a more robust economic system. I'm thinking about possibly opening a bank. We're going to change currency. That's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to change currency to sunflowers. If I win, we're going to do a bank. We're going to have shares. You can take out loans. We might even set up a bit of a stock market. Just a more robust economic system for our Minecraft game. That's what I want to set up. If I win.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you for the intro. Kay, you go ahead.
So, you all may know me. My name is Kay. I'm a local farmer for quite some while. And I'm also a lumberjack who's part-time.
Yeah.
And what do you call it? Mission statement is I want to enhance the fun of the community while simultaneously maintaining the balance of the economic system. So I believe we should all come together as a community, and we should all still be having fun doing our jobs. And so I propose that we would find activities. Sorry. It's been a while since I've done some public speaking. Normally I talk to my crocs, so.
You got it!
Yes. I have a lot planned, but I would also be changing the currency. I'm not sure to what yet, but yeah.
Yeah!
Yay.
Thank you for your intro, Kay. And now, let us enter the first section of the debate. Borders and expansions. Your first question, and this will go first to Kay, as he answered second in the introductions. What is your plan for private property ownership?
My view on private...
Oh, continue.
My view on private property ownership is that we're all individual people with individual rights, and should one encroach on another person's right to their property, he shall be punished forthright.
Fair enough. Rockefeller, take the stage, answer the same question.
Yes, okay. I believe that the right to own property is a basic human right, and I believe that trespassing should very much be illegal, but I believe that we should be open as a community to letting other people go as they please, unless we specifically tell them not to. As for border expansion, I think that it should be encouraged. I think that we could set up a trade route.
The subject is is somewhat off kilter, but it does go with the next question. Where do you see the borders officially being set?
Oh, my
You
bad.
can continue.
Our borders. Oh, that's a good question. We still have so much more to expand. I wouldn't draw out borders at this time. I would let us expand because we're a new colony. We're a new town. We need to grow first before we start making borders and rigid esoteric sorts of things like that.
Fair enough, Kay. You answer the same question. Always have a right to respond to the other on a disagreement.
At the moment, I believe the borders of Darkwood are currently surround the area as mountains and rivers, and beyond the top, canals lay foreign land. Aside from villages, we may have visited, crossed canals, or on the way through rivers. Everything else is enclosed within the valley at the moment.
Fair enough. Next question, Kay. How do you plan to handle the expanding population?
I believe we should find extra space in our land before expansion, and expansion will be earned or will be paid for, and expansion will only happen when there is no space. Population expansion means more opportunity to establish new borders, new jobs, and make new friends. So I'm all for it, but I think we should use our space wisely before we set out to make it a bigger area.
And the same question to you, Rockefeller?
Yes, I believe that I can make the process of a growing population much more autonomized. I believe that with my new currency and with my bank, we will be able to loan out sunflowers to people for them to then purchase materials for them to build houses. As for where they have to build their houses, like I said, I'm not trying to set borders just right now. But I think it should be, as long as you're spacing from other people's houses, I think it should be first come, first serve. And that one, I think you should be able to claim a spot of land, make sure no one else is doing anything with it, which you'll be able to tell if there's just nothing there. And then you should be able to build your house and build your store, or both. Maybe it might be a house and a store. Build your business and start conforming with the community and become a part of this new little thing we got going on here, and so we can one day expand it into a great empire. Thank you.
Now, let's move on to another subject.
I'm proud.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carter has joined the building.
The regulation of items, regulation and banning of items. Now, we all love our personal freedoms, but there are some things that are too unsafe or unwieldy to allow for the average citizen. What exactly would you be outlawing, whether it be under the category of items, enchantments, or potions? Either of you can take the stand first for this.
You can go ahead, Rockefeller.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so talks about laws. So with enchantments and potions, I could see myself. No, I don't think I will outlaw enchantments and potions too heavily. There are some really crazy, like splash potion of weakness, splash potion of slow. That's some stuff that I would outlaw. I don't like that kind of stuff. There are some pretty broad enchantments that are PvP focused. I think if you're going to have enchantments like sharpness or like fire damage, you need to be part of the militia defending the city, because that needs to be your purpose. You don't need to just be able to have that in order to kill other people in our community. As for other sorts of laws, when it comes to griefing, I think one offense should send you to the fish gulags. This is a project that Parker and I are going to be working on.
You do not We'll
As
get to the criminal
Go
sections.
to the gulag, you fish, motherfucker.
We'll
Go to the gulags.
we'll be
Okay, alright, thank
the
you.
crime section later. Okay.
So, I believe as well that we should have a restriction on certain items, including respawn beacons, ender crystals, and witherheads in the overworld. In the nether, everything goes. Any items that give one a strategic advantage need not be taken away, but rather regulated with usage license. And you're obligated to set a license and provide rules for how it may be used. I also think you should not be able to sell them as your own entity. I believe TNT are allowed with a license, and tridents will be regulated. And it's pretty similar to what he said, actually. A lot of what he said. Smite would be allowed for access, though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Good answering of the regulation and banning section. On to the next section, foreign relations. First question, how do either of you plan to handle the future existence of other towns?
Well, it
You
seems that
answer
my opponent has
Answer
lost
first.
connection or
Yes,
something.
uh,
So I guess I will
no,
come
no.
ahead.
I'm
Oh.
still here.
You are not.
Yeah, you're not there. It said you left.
To no one else, you are there.
Yeah, I don't see you.
I'm
either.
walking
Yes,
around.
Rockefeller? Yeah, you are
That's
fully logged out.
strange.
Leave and come back.
Rockefeller,
Oh.
please answer the question. We will get Kay back in time to answer it. I'll repeat the question. I understand if that was distracting.
If you wouldn't mind.
How do you plan
Okay,
to handle the future existence of other towns?
Okay, so I think that we need to try to handle it as diplomatically as possible. I think setting up trade routes is very important to creating lasting positive relations with these civilizations. If they, however, become hostile, I still think we need to give them the diplomatic approach once. We need to say, all right, hey, listen, we got our trade routes going. We can be peaceful about this. This doesn't have to come to war. But if they say no, then it's fair game. If they want a war, then fucking give them a war. Thank you.
You make some good points. I respect that.
Thank you.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How do you plan to handle the future existence of other towns?
I believe residents outside of Darkwood are welcome to pass through when they state the purpose of their visit. So I'm fine with them coming through so long as they tell us why they're coming through, essentially. Because otherwise that could lead to utter chaos, I believe. We basically have to hold them to what they said they were going to do.
Fair
In
enough.
essence, everyone is allowed in Darkwood.
Well, let me expand on that. Some people may wish to be citizens. Some current citizens of Darkwood may wish to join other towns later, but without renouncing their relationship with Darkwood. What is your plan for dual citizenship?
As far as dual citizenship goes, I think it should be granted only if they pledge allegiance to the Darkwood militias. So that way we can prevent
Rockefeller?
fighting.
Yes, okay, so I believe that we should allow dual citizenship so long as there's peace between the two nations that the person in question has dual citizenship to. However, if for whatever reason we have to go to war, whichever nation that citizen is in, he probably has to stay there. So let's say we have Darkwood, we got Billville. The other guy's in Billville, he has dual citizenship with us. We go to war with Billville. if he shows up at Darkwood after we've gone to Billville, and he is a citizen of Billville, and he should be prepared to fight. This will hurt relations with our people, and he may have to be ready to defend himself. Hopefully it won't come to war, and if that's the case, then I will fully allow dual citizenship to exist with Darkwood. Thank you.
Thank you. And the final question within foreign relations, although others do relate, will you enter trade with other towns?
Towns outside of Darkwood may not trade strictly unless given permission from mayor, and I believe an import tax would be fair. This would just prevent the economy from inflating, I believe.
And Rockefeller?
I believe that trading with other towns should be encouraged heavily. I think that we need to do everything we can to set up foreign trade routes. What am I hearing? And as for import-export tax, that's not something I'd want to hit them with right out the gate. If they prove to be loyal to... Actually, no, let me change that. I'm sorry. Let me change that. I will have a very low, very light import-export tax on these traded goods. We don't want that to discourage other nations from trading with us. Trade routes are very important for peace and for our economy. Thank you.
You mentioned it. We're now on to the issue of economy.
There are two studies coming up.
How do you... First of all...
Oh, he's here.
The old man finally made it.
I apologize. I
zombie, watch out.
Nap.
It's fine. It's fine. Be very quiet.
There's a zombie. Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. You bastard. I'll kill you bastard.
Okay, order.
I'm very capable of defending our city.
Non-candidates, be quiet and get into your seats. As I was saying, you had mentioned economy. The next question: how do you plan to protect the economic positions of the citizens of Darkwood?
Someone's echoing.
Probably Parker. He's the only new person.
Oh shit.
It's not me, guys, because I can hear it. Who can't hear echoing?
I can hear echoing. Not right now.
How do you personally plan, through your policies, laws, and ordinance, to protect the economic positions of the citizens of Darkwood?
Yes, and could you expand on that? What do you mean the economic positions?
The businesses and general trade that currently exists in Darkwood seems to be functional, at least on an inner level. The introduction of trade from outside, we'll get to that. Just within the inner trade, as new people join and the economy develops, what do you plan to do to protect the economic scenarios of the citizens of Darkwood? What do you plan to do to make sure that businesses are not harmed by new competitors in a manner that bankrupts someone?
Go ahead, man.
The economy is to be protected through the means of set prices for certain items and fair exchange for services rendered. Should the economy be compromised by outside trade, a currency of equal value will replace it in the case of materials losing value. Meaning, if all goes to hell, then we can change our currency in order to continue thriving. Thank you.
Fair enough. And if you want, I'd be happy to expand on that question. Specifically, how you protect Darkwood's economy from the traders outside. I understand that you wish to encourage trade, and while some may consider that commendable, others may consider that allowing foreigners to take jobs here. Considering you are the more supportive of the position of the two, expand on that.
Well, so when it comes to making trade routes, this would be something that would happen. This wouldn't be something that would happen domestically. This would be something I will have the merchants come to our town, sell us things and then leave, please. I would not encourage them to set up shop in Darkwood. That would require them to become citizens of Darkwood. I would count on them trying to go back to their own place. As for the trade goods edging out other citizens, we're going to take our citizens' trade and higher priority. In a position of power, I'll have a great deal of control over trade routes and how that stuff goes. And I can say, you know, oh, they're edging one of our guys out with their trade. It may be a better deal, but for the betterment of our local economy, I'm going to say that they can't have our trade route anymore, and I will call it off. I think that the new currency I am going to propose will lead for a very stable economic system that will protect us from a lot of problems down the road that would come with a consumable currency that people like to use for other things. Thank you.
Fair enough. And as we've had a tenser section of debate, let's relax somewhat as we now enter the citizen question portion of the debate. Every non-candidate citizen may ask a singular question, and each candidate will be given 60 seconds to answer it. I am not going to be asking a question, as that would be somewhat unfair. Therefore, we have 4 available questionnaires. Anyone may go. You can take a minute to think of the question, if need be.
I have a question.
Okay, you have 1. You cannot answer, and you cannot ask another. Just to specify. If the second you start to ask one, that is your question.
If we were going to go start our own nation and leave a specific town, how would we go about doing that?
Well, both of you have 60 seconds to respond.
Okay, so if you want to leave our town and make your own nation,
Can I use your phone first, please? That's for that.
you would be. I'm not going to stop you from doing something like that, but just know that if you're going to leave our community, you're going to leave behind your rights and your abilities to function in our community. I might have you give me your sunflowers back. Other than that, I'm not going to try to stop you from going to make your own nation in any way. And I might try to propose a positive relation once you get that new nation on the ground. Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
And now UK?
I believe it's perfectly fine if you want to go start. I believe it's perfectly fine if you want to start a new town. I mean, that's exactly what we did here. There's no problem with that. The only issue I can see happening is, you know, competitive prices in a different area. And in that case, you'd have to, you know, compromise for our sake so that we would still be able to flourish in our own community. And so I believe if you want to, you can have a dual citizenship, and you can act as a member of both cities, so long as you are fair to us. Thank you.
I'd like to have a response real quick, if I may.
You may.
I just want to say that when it comes to foreign trade routes, if they are selling the same commodity that is being sold by one of the citizens in our town, I will always prioritize the citizen in our town's product, and I will do away with that trade route if it becomes too troublesome for them, but only if it's going to make them bankrupt. I do think that competition is good. Competition leads to lower prices and further economic stability. Thank you.
Thank you. Next citizen. No rush, but as long as... there we go.
Are you two okay if I ask the question next?
Of course.
Yes? Oh, who's texting? Oh, okay. There's been a lot of talk about a Darkwood militia. Would this militia rely on drafts or volunteers? And would you be allowed to leave Darkwood during a war? Also, how would this militia be outfitted? Like personal armor or supplied armor?
Okay, well, I'm gonna go and start if that's all right. So as for the militia, I'll start with if you're in war and you leave. If you're part of our militia and you're at war with someone else and you desert your town, that's very dangerous for you because you will be presumed dead and you will no longer be counted amongst the militia. And if you just show up again, you could be faced with hostilities against us. So you need to be very careful with that. And then as for outfitting, just to start out, I'm going to say use your own armor, please. But as we become wealthier and more technologically advanced as a community, we will be able to outfit people with their own armors. I'm going to make sure everyone has a crossbow. There's a lot of strategic advantages to a crossbow. And my dream is for everyone's piece of armor to have the Thorns enchantment, where they deal damage against people who deal damage to them. I think that would give us great strategic benefits. Does that answer all of your question?
Is it enlisted only, or would you be drafted if there was a big enough war?
I would only resort to drafting if I felt that our community was seriously being threatened by the other community that seems to take us over. Then and only then will I draft, but I will ask that all citizens of Darkwood do their duty as citizens of Darkwood and defend our town at all costs if it comes to that, which hopefully it won't. Thank you.
I do not believe in the draft. I believe you should volunteer, as it is one's own choice that we should respect. And as far as outfitting goes, I would like the ability to outfit everyone with armor as best as I could, but it would be quite the task for myself. Unless I were able to access resources from another member of Darkwood. So it wouldn't be necessary to have armor outside of your own necessarily. Yeah, I'm not sure. Was that
Fair
the whole
enough.
question?
Deserting, leaving. Are citizens allowed to leave the town during a war, or would they be forced to stay?
Shit, that's not a very good
Well, going back to my dual citizenship clause, if you are a member of Darkwood, in the case of fighting a war, under my rule, you would have to pledge allegiance to the Darkwood militia. So deserting would not be an option.
Got it. Thank you.
Fair enough. On to either of you, if either of you have a question.
Hello. So this is concerning new legislation. So, would it be up to only the mayor, or would there be some sort of extra council acting as a legislative body? Though essentially, who is the legislative body?
I can answer this as this is more of a procedural question. You can both give your opinions after. But generally, when it comes to legislation, the mayors will be enacting it, but citizens have the right to form a petition, and with enough signatures, it is removed and cannot be reenacted during the term. So while the mayors currently are the sole legislative body, their legislation can be overturned. And of course, there's always an open dialogue, I would hope, with the mayor and their citizens.
Alright,
Give your opinions on the issue now.
Okay, so yes, I will adhere to the current procedure in place. I don't think I'll try to change it. Having said that, before I pass legislation, I'm going to try to be proactive and talk to citizens about that in person in game and ask them, hey, is this something that you think would like to happen? Ask around, see if this is something people actually approve of before I pass it, as long as it's not like some kind of minute internal issue that needs to be resolved. I will talk to the people of Darkwood and get their opinions before I try to pass any legislation. Thank you. Thank you for your question.
And finally, if you have a question, you're the final one out to answer.
Oh, okay. You want to answer that question? Do you want to respond to that?
My opinion does not differ very much from your own, so.
Oh, okay, great. Just want to make sure.
So, who wants to join the? At this point, we've gotten people for future. At this end, there are a limited amount of jobs. What is your plan to provide enough jobs for everybody in the town? Like, say, someone who wants to join, but there really aren't more jobs. Do we just petition?
Okay. I think I got most of your question. You cut out a little bit, but you're asking how are we going to make sure we keep a good job market open for new players?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Yeah. So I think that oh jeez. Not going to be distracted by the mobs. I think that creating jobs in Minecraft, I don't think it'll be too big of a problem unless we get like a crazy amount of citizens. I think there are going to be enough resources that can be harvested. If you really don't know what to do, you can come to your local government, and I think we can outfit you with a job. Yeah, I think we'll be able to find something for you to do no matter what. Thank you for your question.
In the sense of jobs, I believe that if we start running out of certain jobs, people can either double up on someone's job, or you can also try the specialized route where you would only retrieve a certain type of item, depending on whether or not it's in demand or not. So it would be similar to certain jobs, but it wouldn't be the same as whoever's job is being taken, essentially. Like it would be a microcosm of said job.
And so ends. Oh, do you have anything more to say, Kay?
No, I was just gonna ask if that made sense, or if I needed to clarify.
Well,
That makes
it's still the citizens' question section. You can say if you can answer if it makes sense to you.
That makes sense.
Okay, good. Well, let me get some air real quick.
Oh, it's something on
And-
fire. Oh,
Like
never
the
mind.
opposite, actually.
Same difference for me. And so ends the citizen question portion of the debate. We're going to be going right into an issue that I suspect will be quite a big function for both of you. This is a two-part question. I will make sure to answer simply and only the question, because the final question within this section will let you catch everything else. 11A, what would you designate as a high crime?
If I may go first.
Yeah,
You
go
may.
ahead.
Now, in the case of high crime, I believe killing a person or their animals, such as dogs, cats, horses, any farm animals, is high crime.
Oops, sorry.
As well as griefing.
I missed. Sorry.
You're good.
It's okay. Did everybody catch my statement though?
Could you repeat it?
Okay. Killing a person or their animals, such as stock animals or dogs, cats, or horses, and griefing are considered high crimes.
For specification, since it's just one you hadn't mentioned, where would pet fish fall under?
I mean, if it has some sentiment to you, and you have formed a bond with said fish, then
I
yes.
mentioned it mainly due to the town fish, Sammy the salmon, being a prevalent mascot of our town. Just wanted to specify.
I believe everybody has a right to their own pets, and the town mascot especially. And so, if someone were to just kill our town mascot for no reason, they should find a replacement and they should serve their time, even if it is a somewhat short amount of time for taking another one's life. Thank you.
Fair enough. Same question to you. What do you consist as a high crime?
Well, pretty much the same stuff as Evan thinks. I think the murder of anyone or anyone's pets should be a high crime, and I think that griefing is a high crime, and theft of particularly valuable items such as diamonds material, netherite, ender pearls, very high quantities of iron, gold, and just very valuable commodities and property to people, particularly valuable, will be held as a high crime as well. This includes enchantment books, enchanted armor. Theft in general will be a crime, but really taking really valuable stuff that people really need and worked hard to get, I'm going to count that as a high crime as well. Thank you.
Fair enough, and since you had to answer second, I'll let you go first on the second portion of this question. What would be, in your administration, the punishment for high crimes?
Okay, so first offense, you go to the fish gulags. How many things you have to catch and how long you have to spend at the fish gulags is something that we will need to decide at a later time once we have constructed the fish gulags.
Currently under construction.
Currently under construction, fish gulags, yes. Past that, what was I going to say? And then, if you commit that crime again after you've been to the fish gulag, that will result in a temporary ban, looking at a few days off the server. And if you do it again after that, holy fuck, oh my god,
Run! Run, you're on!
And you're banned.
No! We had an assassination!
I got
Fucking
that. Give him a moment. He knows the path.
Guys, put his stuff back in the barrel.
Okay.
Got it.
After the
Probably have
slight,
Funny, man.
after the slight issue, let's continue this debate. Where did we leave off? We were discussing 11B.
High
What would be
crime.
the punishment for high crimes? Rockefeller, do you feel you had finished your position, or do you feel you need more time?
The only other thing I was going to say was that after 3 times committing high crime, that would result in a permanent server ban. That's it. That's all. That's the only other thing I wanted to say. Thank you.
Mr. Announcer, I have a question. You are the server admin. Are towns allowed to hand out bans? Is that something towns can do?
Server bans, no, but they're allowed to provide reason for why someone should be banned, at which point I would be willing to.
They can plead the case.
Like, there is entirely fair that I wouldn't know why the person should be banned, and if it's justified, they would be banned, yes. Now let's speed things up.
Okay.
Kay, have you answered 11A, or 11B, your punishments?
High crimes for me would constitute a
Oh.
hot bar and a half of fish and possibly replacement of anything lost. And I believe if they fail to comply, jail time will automatically be set to 1 in-game week, so they may serve out their term in the gulag if they fail to fish that many. Thank you.
Fair enough. On to the final crime section. In case either of you feel you need to expand on your policies on crime, expand now. You have a less limited time span. But, of course, be as quick as you can. Everyone likes a succinct can. Either of you start.
I don't have much more to say about that. We're gonna build the fish gulags. Anything that's not a high crime, just gonna be, go to the fish gulag, you son of a bitch, and catch some fish. Those are details we'll have to work out at a later date for how many fish. That's all I really have to say about that. Thank you.
Fair enough. Okay.
So we're on 12, right?
Yep, 12, which is simply any other policies regarding crimes you have if you need to go into, just expansion.
I believe in the case of high crime, you will be indicted with the crimes against Darkwood based on your proximity to the crimes with sufficient evidence and trial by jury to ensure fairness. And in the case that there may or may not be a full jury, there will be cases held in town court if need be. Thank you.
And so ends our crime section. On to the next section. Applies to multiple citizens. Inequality. Will dealing with inequality be a top issue in your first term as mayor? Let's start with Kay.
Inequality may exist between separate origins, but they will serve to benefit others. For example, in the case of my people, the Florins, they cannot go to the Nether with ease, but making a symbiotic relationship with the Blaze would greatly benefit them, whilst the Florin can provide things a Blaze cannot. Inequality is to be embraced and used for positively influencing the community's relationships, economics, and security, not exploited for unfair advantage.
Rockefeller?
Yes, racism and discrimination of any sort is not something that will be taken lightly. I know in the case of Ground Hoggington, he feels that because he is 2 bits high, he is often not taken seriously, and I will admit that even I have chuckled and snickered at him and gotten down on my knees to talk to him like a small child, and I'm going to try to get better at doing that myself, because racism and derogatory stuff will not be tolerated. If you're gonna be like racist to someone for being like 2 bits tall, or for being a skulker, or for just having wings or anything, then you're gonna have a talking to, and I would even propose a fine for such a thing if the victim can prove that they would have been discriminated against. Thank you.
Thank you, and just for specifications from either of you, a simple scenario. Would you back a policy that helped to deal with inequality, even if it's to the detriment of the more fortunate?
Would you like to answer first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, oops.
All good.
I don't believe that would be fair to anybody, actually. So I would leave those laws out of our judicial society, court system, what have you. Yeah, I'm all for fairness.
I would want to remain impartial on such a thing when it comes to like crimes that have fines. I would definitely give a lesser fine to the less fortunate people of the server, but but I cannot, out of principle, I cannot enforce such laws differently to different people. So there would still be ramifications there, even if you were less fortunate than the victim. If the victim can prove that you really are like giving them some shit. Thank you.
Fair enough. On to an issue that will matter to a lot of people: taxes. What do you plan to set as the tax rate? And or how do you plan to handle the tax rate / taxes? This includes the date. This includes. This will also include what organizations would fall under a lack of taxation.
Well, okay. I would have a pretty low tax rate. I believe about 2 wood of any type would be standard. And as far as the taxes being due, I believe a week would be after any transaction would be nice and lenient, so no one feels pressured by the taxes. And I believe, as far as tax shelters go, jobs with high risk of death and luck dependencies, such as netherite mining and killing mobs for supplies, will be tax sheltered. But churches will not be exempt. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm also going to have taxing weekly, and I'm thinking about having I'll probably do a 5 sunflower flat tax amongst everyone right out the gate, as economic disparity does rise, which is something that normally happens with this sort of economic system. I will go to create a tax bracket system to make sure that there is equity. I'm not going to mess with any kind of sales tax or any sort of income tax. There will be import-export tax down the road, but I'm not going to be very heavy on taxes. And yeah, that's about all I wanted to say there. Thank you.
Thank you, as well. And now for some... no, not currently. Now for some more political specific questions. How long do you believe a mayoral term should be? For the upcoming term either of you will be elected to, it is a month. You do have the ability to change it, but not the term you were elected to.
Do you have anything to say on this matter?
Yeah.
I didn't get all of that. I'm sorry. Could you repeat that?
Yeah, there is some commotion. I don't know from who. How long do you believe a mayoral term should be? It's currently a month. That you won't be able to change the term you're being elected to currently, but as mayor you would be able to change it for the election after you. That you would be able to run it.
Okay, yeah, so I'll go ahead and say I think that should be cut in half. I think that it should be a new election every 2 weeks. The reason being because at the end of the day, this is a game. We're all trying to play Minecraft and have fun. And I think that everyone should have the opportunity to try to run for mayor if that's something they want to do. If I'm mayor, well, we'll get to see. I bet it'll be a lot of fun, and it's something that I hope that everyone who wants to experience gets to while we play on this server. So I would cut it down to 2-week terms. Thank you.
Please answer, okay?
They're muted.
7. Okay, you're not saying a word. You're just moving your head back and forth.
Sorry. I was saying, going off of what my opponent said, instead of being a month into life, I believe it would be more fair if we went off of in-game month days. And that is all I have to say on the matter.
Fair enough. Another political politics question. If the population grows big enough, as some people have mentioned, a legislative body, do you believe we should move away from a mayoral system and instead to a 3-person elected council?
I believe that is reasonable, yes.
I believe that that's something we could definitely do as our server population grows. I think right now that would be a little bit excessive because we have so few players. As of right now, I would still stick with a 1-person mayor, but as our population grows, I would be open to a 3-person council, or even more than that if we get really big. Thank you.
And both of you seem to mention moving from 1 month to 2 weeks. Well, there is a slot for an election in 2 weeks. That is possible if either of you enable it. So I'll ask you the final question. Do you believe Darkwood should have an elected vice mayor?
In the case of people not being online, I believe it's reasonable.
That's fair.
I
You,
agree.
Rockefeller?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. I agree. I think that there could definitely be a vice mayor because, sometimes they're not being online. You gotta have a vice mayor there to take his place. Thank you.
And thank you all for having attended this debate. Each of the candidates may give their
We're not
outros.
doing closing statements? I'm
Oh,
sorry.
the closing statements are about to begin. The closing statements. Are
Okay,
about to begin.
I'm sorry.
I'm merely concluding the sectional portion of the debate. You'll both have your closing statements. Either of you can start first. After that, we will be voting. You'll be gathering your ballot from the barrel. Make sure to write the name of the candidate you support in the book and then title it with your personal name. And then you'll be putting it into the chest up there. After which all have voted. I will read off the result.
Okay.
Can I make a quick statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
I forgot to bring this up, but in order for everything to be fair for everyone in Darkwood, I believe creeper explosions that destroy property are to be handled by citizens to preserve Darkwood's way of life. And so citizens, I believe, should contribute, but aren't obligated in any way to replace anything accidentally blown up by mob attack. But if that happened, citizens who participate will be compensated for their help in replacing whatever was lost. That's all.
Thank you, Rockefeller.
I'm gonna get on with my closing statement. Okay, so I just wanna use this time to go back over why sunflowers. Why I want sunflowers to be our currency. Well, first of all, sunflowers, well, they kind of look like coins, don't they? They look like coins when dropped and in your inventory. They look like coins. They are very much a finite resource. I went to the nearest sunflower field and just swiped them all up. Sunflower fields are fairly rare. I don't anticipate anyone will find any more anytime soon. Sunflowers can't be grown. They don't really have much use either. I think people will most likely only use them as currency. The only use I can think of off the top of my head is planting them as sunflowers just for the aesthetic. And even then, you're not destroying the sunflowers. I have a bunch of sunflowers, and I will hand them out first chance I get to you guys. But that's it for my closing statement. And I'm gonna have to log off and get on Discord mobile because I need to go. Sunflowers can be duplicated. Is that just a bug though?
No. They can be with bone meal. You can duplicate
If you
sunflowers.
bone meal a sunflower, a second sunflower, like that.
Okay, well that's fucking illegal. So all right.
Maybe you name the sunflowers so that you can tell which ones are frauds.
A crime punishable by death.
Because you can name things by the stat.
Guillotine. Okay, and at that, I'm gonna get on my phone. I'm gonna get on Discord mobile because we need to dip out.
Oh, sounds good. I'm guessing you're voting for.
I'm going to
assume he's voted for himself.
I'll vote
Good
for him.
assumption.
Yes, the
Okay,
debate has
everyone.
officially ended.
Okay, I'm coming down.
Wait, so in order to do that, you press sign, right?
Yes, you make sure to put the person you're voting for on the written inside part, and then your own name on the outside. Of course, for you, there's a fair chance it's going to be the same name.
Get who?
And who do we give it to?
You put it in the little thing over here.
Yep, there's a chest over here.
There's a chest.
Put it in the
It's a vote.
chest. Make sure not to put any silly stuff in there, it would gum up the machine.
Yes, the title of the book is your own name once you sign it.
Yes, you put your vote on the inside.
Oh, okay.
Then here's your axe.
Whoa, it just got dark and scary.
Ominous.
Yes, we should hurry
time.
before the monsters show back up.
Then Eram will get the book so I can avoid seeing who.
That could be really bad for you, Jesse. You might want to find an awning.
Okay. I am going to point out signs simply because I find it funny. Not to be rude. But there's like at least 3 different spellings of a certain name, which does make it entertaining. Ah, well, lightning directly struck behind you. Hell of a thing.
We're going to die.
It did?
Well, let me start the reading of the votes. Let me start the reading.
Ah!
My God. Yeah, I'll get through this now.
Hurry up
The
before we
first
get
vote
struck!
is for, and I'll be disposing of them with flint and steel. The first vote is for Rockefeller. 1 vote for Rockefeller. The second vote is for Rockefeller.
Hell yeah.
The third vote from Rockefeller
Hell yeah. Fuck
is for Rockefeller.
You can vote for this?
I would assume. Yeah, of course.
Yes.
It's an election. You can vote for the 2 candidates.
Oh.
Or technically, you can just write whatever you want. If someone needs to change their vote, I understand.
Monsters are
Okay.
coming.
This vote is
Recently done.
for K. 3 votes for Rockefeller, 1 vote for K. This vote is for K. 3 votes for Rockefeller, 2 votes for K. And this is when we'll take a little detour.
Wait, but that's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't there 7 of us?
Yes, there is. Like I said, a little detour.
Oh,
Nice
yes.
to meet you. I don't think we've formally been introduced. My name is not. It is
What?
Keo Kordax of Atlantis.
Epic.
Yeah, you may have noticed some good foreign policy questions. Thought it'd be fair enough. And I think
that
it's
why you're
about
Isaac?
time, as the jungle burns behind us, that a little bit more interesting things happen. The Kingdom of Atlantis is open for business and citizens, and does not take kindly to elections. But I'll be allowing this one, with a final vote count being 2 for K, 4 for Rockefeller, and 1 for Chaos. Well, no, I'm interested.
You're not a citizen of this city anymore. You don't get to choose.
Hello, little.
I'm not going to listen. You said you had sign of interest.
What?
Believe that you can come to our vote and declare your treachery and then hit me? You've been oppressing my people for far too long. People of Darkwood, rise up against this tyranny who thinks he can shoot us.
Let us hear what he has to say.
He attacked me.
I'm quite intrigued.
I got shot and I didn't do anything.
You're leading directly into what he's saying.
Yes, the little one doesn't seem to have much tact. But if he needs to throw a tantrum, he may.
You shot me.
It's like an obnoxious mouse. As I was saying, the Kingdom of Atlantis is open for business, and if anyone wishes to apply for citizenship, I'm Happy to answer. I mean, we are far more prepared than the minor settlement of Darkwood, but I'm willing to work out trade. Is anyone interested in an opportunity to go up in the world?
I want to go down in the world because that's where I live. In the Nether.
I do not have any issues with you, Blaze.
Yes, go down in the world. Stay with us. I mean, we're the up. Yes.
Hey,
You're the middle.
I don't have any issues with you. I just want to establish that, you know, who's in charge.
Yes.
In the end, the results were the results. And Rockefeller was elected. I mean, one of the candidates voted for the other, surprisingly.
No.
Powerful candidate.
No.
Yep.
Die, you fiends!
He was
Fireworks!
What do you mean? You're the one who started this by attacking me.
And you're the one so small, you should accurately be described as insignificant.
You will pay.
We don't take the
one day.
opinions of mice, we hire cats to deal with them.